Leroy.
Hey, I have to show you. I have to show you my Twitter line. Holy smokes.
Man,
It is
that's what
it
everybody looks forward to right after the win.
yes.
They want
Yes.
the call. They want it.
Yes. They
They
want
want
it.
they want to just call out Leroy wherever he may be. It is like the siren
Yep.
after a Heat victory.
Yep.
What did I tell you, Leroy? Gonna walk into that game one, snatch that home court
I gotta
advantage.
tell you. I gotta tell you. It wasn't that I didn't think that they weren't gonna win at no point in time because they always kept it around 10 or whatever. So all you needed was that surge, you know. But what is it, 46-25?
Hello, Jennifer.
46-25 in the third?
Oh, they smoked
That
him.
normally only happens to the Heat.
I know. It was the cleanest colon quarter we have ever had in the history of third quarters. It was amazing. And you're right. It looked like it was getting away from them a little bit in that second quarter. Got to think up to 13. They cut it to 9. And you're like, all right, not terrible. Not terrible. And certainly when they were playing, there were a couple things in that first quarter that were just very unheat-like. First of all, the parade in the paint. Willy-nilly. I mean, it was a free-for-all for them getting inside.
They said, we're going big, and I was like, oh God, are we going to get a rebound?
Yeah, Robert Williams was getting every rebound. He had like 4 of them in the first half.
First quarter, he had 3 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, he was putting back everything. Yeah, it was an uncomfortable thing, and they just, Marcus Smart dicing them up. He found everybody with the lobs, with the bounces into the paint, the cuts, and you're just like, man, this is just so helter-skelter right now with what they got going on. But it wasn't awful. Kyle Lowry had a really good second quarter. He really got on the heater, kept the Heat afloat there. And, you go into halftime, and then all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler, like this guy and the run that he's on, just remains incredible.
Do you hear the announcer? Jimmy freaking Butler.
Oh, Kevin Harlan's the best. He's the best. He's the best. I was enjoying that broadcast. That was one of the better national broadcasts in a while between him, Stan Van Gundy, Reggie Miller. He's a little bit loony, and at one point I think he meant to say my palms are sweaty, but it didn't sound like palms. Got a little too personal with us there, Reggie.
But yeah, it was amazing. And one of the things that I would say about the Heat that differs from a lot of teams in any sport, and you kind of see it with teams that know they're never out of it. For example, you never see panic out of Kansas City, right? Because they're always in it. But when you watch the Heat, no matter what's going on, they're like, don't worry, player. We haven't gone on our run yet.
Let me get this. There was this crazy stat I saw on ESPN about their success with a double-digit deficit compared to everybody else in the league.
Yeah, they've had 5 games that they've won, and that's no other team's ever done that.
Their win percentage is 714 when they trail by 10. The rest of the NBA is under 200.
Right.
This is they don't get rattled at all. At all. And I think that does go back. Yes, this was a very frustrating regular season, and everybody does keep identifying as they don't understand this because of what the Heat were in the regular season. But the one thing that they were in the regular season was very good in clutch games. They were great at it. They could handle that. They have been in these situations. They have more practice in these situations than anybody. And yes, it was unbelievably, it was unbelievably frustrating this year, but they basically got practice on it almost every game. It was insane. And so they had all these late game situations where they just never wavered, never panicked. And so, like, people keep going back to, like, oh, that Bulls game, they were down 10 with 3 minutes left. It's like, yeah. But they always were. Nothing. That's nothing.
They spent the whole year down 10.
Yeah. Down 10's right where they want them.
And here's the kicker. You've had to go through this season with 1 through 12. Right? So it wasn't just the starters going through this. You had that second unit, you had guys coming off the bench, it was a number of guys on the roster that had to go through this. So now, when you look at Spo versus any other team, he's comfortable still going 1 through 10.
Yeah, he is.
And everybody else is shrinking.
Even though I feel like I'm sweating the Zeller minutes. I was very nervous with Zeller out there.
Well, can I just tell you? He's the new Dunks. Because he will hack within the first 2 minutes of the game.
He's got fouls to give. He's got turnovers to give. I don't think I've seen him catch a Jimmy Butler pass since the first round. Big Handsome is having some. I'm sweating those minutes out. I got to be honest with you.
And now after you ran your mouth, we're gonna see a bomb from Kevin Love in every game.
Dude, every game.
Every game.
And did you like how Kevin Harlan called him Tua?
Yeah.
It was like he was like a right-handed Tua. A lot of Dolphins references yesterday. They called Jimmy Butler Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you can tell Harlan worked a lot of Dolphins games this year.
I would also say that
the media hates Miami though, right?
Well, they do. I mean, Day, did you watch that pregame show yesterday?
No.
Because you were on the pregame show here, right?
Drinking, living my life.
Dan, this pregame show yesterday, it might as well have been a Jason Tatum telethon.
I heard the tease for like Sports Center was like how the Boston Celtics will in the Eastern Conference.
It was like Jimmy Butler didn't even exist in the playoffs. It was great. It was Tatum. Let's do it. There was like 4 Jason Tatum montages. It was crazy.
I'm looking at ESPN right now. Nothing but love for the Heat, by the way.
Well, it's about time. I mean, like, what else are you going to do? You got no games until tonight.
I told you this beforehand. All you got to do is win. Who cares?
Yeah, well, I understand. But, like, walking into that game last night, if you tuned in, because Charles Barkley's like, they got no shot. Kenny's also Shaq, to his credit, Heat lifer, he did say that he did pick the Heat, but he doesn't know Max Strus's name. He called him Schuster.
Weren't the Heat favored by Vegas to win last night?
No, they were huge underdogs. They were like 9-point underdogs.
Someone told me the Heat are win the series and the game.
By the way, there's playing with house money and there's playing with house money. I got into action.
Attaboy.
Yep.
Attaboy.
So I bet the Heat to win the series, and I bet them on the first game. So they win the first game, house money. No money out of my pocket.
Headlines here brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Your final yesterday, 123, 116. Jimmy Buckets. How about this for a stat line, Leroy? 35 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 steals.
Yep.
Whew. Let's hear from Jimmy Butler.
In a pear tree.
Jimmy Butler, after the game, asked about the doubters, and this is his response to that.
Jimmy, I would imagine that you don't feel like an 8 seed. You and the Heat. That you don't. This doesn't feel like you're climbing mountains and knocking off favorites and all those kinds of things.
That's a question?
Well, it's a start of a question.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the question?
Just the question is, how does this feel to you guys, what you have done so far? And if you go back all the way to that night against Chicago in the play-in, did you think then that something like this would be possible?
Damn right. I did. Damn right. We did. And the best part about it is we still don't care what none of y'all think, honestly speaking. We don't care if you pick us to win. We never have. We never will. We know the group of guys we have in his locker room. We know that Coach Spo puts so much confidence and belief in each and every one of us, Coach Pat as well. And so our circle's small, but this circle got so much love for one another. We pump constant confidence into everybody. And we go out there and we hoop. We play basketball the right way, knowing that we always got a chance.
That's good right there. This guy. I mean, the way he's playing right now. You just got the Goosies, J Fig?
I got the Goosies.
Wow. I mean,
Can you get the Goosies with your mic on next time?
Her mic was
Well, I kind of had it down.
Where
I was kind of blocking her a little bit.
Would you say, J Fig, your Goosies are galore, triple G, or just single Goosies? Where would you say they are at right now, Jennifer?
Man, I think they're more than triple G's right now. So much that I read today to celebrate the Heat.
Hold on. Be careful.
What?
It's only one.
It is only one. That's
Okay,
gonna
so what?
It's a race to 4.
That's
so
gonna
you can't get too.
I'm allowed to
goosed
have
up.
Goosies.
But that quote is good. That quote is Goosies.
Exactly.
That quote is Goosies.
I mean, you know what? You can say what you want about this team, and they can say what they want about this team. But what Jimmy said, they've been pretty consistent with that all year.
For sure.
To the point where we've chuckled.
Yeah.
Right? We've chuckled at going
to the point where I
1-3 on the road trip, and the coach coming back and saying, you know what? I like what we accomplished out
when
there.
Eric Spoelstra said at one point this season, we have the answers to the test, and I was like, well, I would like you guys to start acing some quizzes here. That would be nice.
I'm glad you got the quote right.
Like I thought he sounded like a loon, but what they've been doing in this playoffs, like every time we're going to have the same explanation, everybody's going to come back with the same thing. And I'll tell you another thing that's kind of annoying me. Everybody keeps saying this thing that Jimmy Butler is playing like a superstar, like he's not. Right. This dude is a superstar.
Come on now. ESPN shows him a lot of love now.
No, dude. Everybody. But here's the thing.
You caught it,
everybody always.
No,
I'll tell you something.
Get the hell out of here.
Dan, I'll tell you exactly what I mean.
Get the hell
I will not get the hell out of here. We got 4 hours. I'll tell you exactly what I mean. There was a thing that always drove me nuts in a narrative with Dwayne Wade, where when Dwayne Wade was like 28 years old, they started calling him vintage because he had so much success early on in his career. And I'd be like, vintage? Like, he's still one of the best players on the planet. He's a top 5 MVP guy. Why are you calling him vintage? And they're doing the same thing with Jimmy, where they're like he's doing cosplay, like playoff Jimmy. Oh, he's playing like a superstar. Dude, he's the best player in the playoffs. Two-way, gets you 35 and 6 steals. Who else is doing this in the NBA right now?
Which everyone is giving him credit for.
No, but they're doing it like it's a surprise.
Dan,
3 out of 4.
Dan,
3 out of 4.
Dan,
Boston yesterday
Dan.
where they were talking like, we have to stop Jimmy Butler.
Who?
Jimmy Butler's going to get his.
Who? Gary Washburn?
All the articles I was reading, ESPN, NBA Today was talking about how Jimmy Butler was the best player in the playoffs.
Today.
Nobody's watching.
Dan.
Today.
Well, how many montages did he get on the pregame show yesterday on TNT? 0.0.
Dan,
0.0.
Dan, don't do it.
Leroy, today's not one of those days. You know,
No.
you're from New Orleans. Today, not one of them days.
Yeah, but
I'm just telling you right now, this guy.
You can't see, because I understand what Dan is saying. I take the excuse of who cares? Just win the games. But some people, I won't mention any names, get real sensitive about what is said.
It's
I
not.
don't care. I don't care about what is. You know what the ultimate flowers are? The Larry O'Brien Trophy.
Yeah, it's called a championship.
And
All
you
right,
can't.
good story.
And
That
you
happens.
can't. You will
The
not
championship
be
can't be
able
won.
to
The
deny
championship
it.
can't be won right now. It can't be won right now. So when you guys say these things and you say it doesn't matter, it sounds, why it's frustrating is because then you just continue to get things like, who are these guys? Max Strus, or Shaq not knowing Max Strus's name, or not knowing who gave Vince.
We know who they are.
You know, it's time for the nation to wake up. Wake up and give this team their credit.
But my point is, they're not gonna have a choice.
Actually, they did, because Jimmy Butler did what he did, and Jason Tatum had to give you 150-point game, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, Jason Tatum
Again,
is the best." By the way, boy wonder yesterday, Jason Tatum.
The Heat win
throwing
the
up all over himself.
championship. All that nonsense is silenced.
Okay, again, which is fine. You have the same take every single time, and the
What do you
championship
want me to
literally
say?
can't be-
I'm not
because
gonna
it can't be won till
change it.
June. I don't understand what your point of this is.
But my point is that if you go out and win, you'll get your flowers.
Cool, dude.
I don't know what you want. All Jimmy can do is go out there and be Jimmy Butler. Whether people appreciate what he's doing or not, he should not care. We're the ones that know the truth. We put it out there what Jimmy's doing. I don't care if anybody else knows. We have a better.
That's you. That's you. You don't care. I do. That's you. You don't care. I do.
But you're whether you care or not, it doesn't matter.
It does to me.
Why? Does it affect winning or losing?
I don't know. It doesn't. It's
no,
about the experience.
You don't know.
No, but it's about
whether
the
experience.
It's about the experience of these guys. Every single time they act like he walks. No, Leroy. They act like this guy every single year. He does this in the playoffs, and they're acting like this is some kind of surprise, like he morphs into something.
We know better.
Okay, great. You've made that point.
It's not our fault. They're stupid.
But don't you hold on? Okay, let me ask you from this standpoint, because I get you don't care. You've made that point. You've made it 100 times. You get that point.
You keep making the same other point, though.
No, don't you find it a little surprising that after doing this through now 3 rounds of the playoffs, 3 out of 4 years, that you hear the same lack of knowledge year after year after year, where you will not hear that with Boston?
Tobin,
if you answer I don't care, I'm going to break.
No. You can't coach stupid. Okay? Ignorance is not our concern. It's not our fault or our concern that these people refuse to accept what they are seeing. So I'm not going to get worried about stupid. I'm not going to get worried about ignorance. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to sip on my favorite drink. I'm going to get in the jacuzzi, and I'm going to enjoy me some Jimmy Butler. That's what I'm going to do. The fact that, you hear what he said about Jimmy? He won't give Jimmy his flowers.
Okay, but I hate to
we know what Jimmy is doing.
Okay, but you did it 2 rounds ago. 2 rounds ago, you didn't think that he was enough.
No, and guess what? Do you see how Bam played yesterday?
Yeah, he played amazing. He's been playing amazing. It's
another
look. It's another thing that's another thing that's embarrassing.
There's never been one star to win a championship by themselves. And so me saying Jimmy can't do it alone is an accurate statement. Why does everybody get so worked up over that? He can't do it by himself.
Okay, but in the Bucs series, come on, dude.
Oh, all right. Okay, dude. Like, who won it by themselves? Who won it by themselves? Because what I'm trying to get to you is this. What did I say that was so unreasonable that Jimmy can't do it by himself?
You said that there was no shot that he could do it.
Who won it by themselves?
You said that there was no shot that he could do it. Did you not?
Not
think that
by
was the biggest
himself.
reason? Well, obviously, dude. There's 5 guys on the team. Was he not the biggest reason that it happened?
Being the biggest reason and doing it by yourself are 2 different things. Who has won a championship by themselves?
Points to the game. What are you talking about? Like took that series by the jugular.
Oh, okay. I'm not disagreeing with you. Who has won a championship by themselves?
Nobody, Leroy.
It's a fact. So me saying that Jimmy can't do it by himself is not a crazy statement. I don't know why you're acting like it's so crazy. Oh, he's a hater because he says Jimmy can't.
I'm not saying you're a hater. My point of it is that you keep saying, well, they're going to learn. And they never learn, dude. That's my point. You keep arguing the same thing. It is my problem. I actually do have a problem with that. I do have a problem with that because the same that other players in this league can do half of what this guy did and get less and get more recognition is ridiculous.
Okay.
That can mean nothing to you. That's, I guess you just don't live in that world. That's fine. Okay. But it does to me.
All right. Okay.
And you know what's crazy about it, Leroy?
What's crazy?
We're doing it again tonight, baby. We got Eastern Conference Finals Game 1. Cats and Canes. This is going to be so much fun. I mean, just nonstop. Eastern Conference Finals after Eastern Conference Finals. Cats get going tonight. Get to some headlines here brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
And we'll get to the callers who are on hold. Just give me a second here. Got some business to take care of. Cats, 8 o'clock puck drop tonight from Raleigh. For your coverage. We're going local all the way. Day and night tonight at 6, Stan Day?
You know it, a power hour. We're going to do a power hour, and then we're going to do an extra hour of Panthers preview.
There you go. We got some Panthers preview going into it. So you got all of your Cats coverage here on 560 WQAM tonight as the Cats and Hurricanes start off their Eastern Conference Finals series. So looking forward to that. The Heat winners last night against the Boston Celtics, 123-116. Jimmy Buckets, 35 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 6 steals. Bam Adebayo, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. You liked Bam's game yesterday, Leroy, right?
I did.
Aggressive.
I wish he could. I want him to shore up the little rebound in there because they can't keep getting those offensive rebounds. That's a killer.
Yep.
But other than that, I love his aggressiveness. He didn't think about it. Open shot, he took it, right? Defensively, he was all over the place. Just need to shore up that you can't let Williams get off like that.
Did it worry you guys a little bit that Jimmy's looking more and more human at the end of games? Because at the end of the game, he wasn't as great as he has been in the past.
The offense did get plugged up, but I think I was expecting that from just Boston's going to make a run. But I get what you're saying. Like look, they're a good defensive. They have good defensive players.
We've just gotten so accustomed to him being superhuman. Like when he's human, we were like, "What's wrong with Jimmy?"
Here's what that looks like, Dan. Here's what that looks like, and I noticed it too. It wasn't because of what you're saying about Jimmy. It was because of their offense as a whole. They're not a team. Jimmy can start with the ball or finish with the ball, but he can't do it James Harden. And there was a couple of trips down at the other end where they just gave it to Jimmy and let Jimmy just do whatever, dribble. Somebody got to take a shot with 2 seconds left. So that had more to do with them not running the successful offense and the ball movement that we had seen in the previous quarter and a half.
You don't think
more than Jimmy getting?
Are you trying to say that he didn't draw up end of the shot clock heave 3 that bounced up 3 times around the rim and sinks? Like I thought that was the play.
That's true.
I thought that was the play.
Right, but and it's not. You know what's funny about that?
That's the one that made Harlan go crazy.
Oh yeah, it's not just the Heat that do that, right? When you get to those end of the
that was Stan Van Gundy's big argument. He was yelling at Boston for not running everything through Jason Tatum. Like
right.
He was getting.
It doesn't have. You have to start it with him, and that's what I'm saying. That the Heat did an excellent job of starting with Jimmy, but there were times where Jimmy just, between the legs, dribble. Oh, 5 seconds. Let's do something. Whereas what got them into that situation with that lead was the fact that he would start with it, but it'll move around. It may come back to him, but the ball was constantly moving. And I think that was more of an indication of what was going on other than guys getting tired or Jimmy falling off. It was the offense as a whole.
Tim's in Deerfield. What's going on, Tim?
Leroy. Hey, I like it. I like it with a little more aggression, not as much creepiness.
Hey, I need to start a campaign officially for one Tobin for his Marconi of his sports journalism of these bums who don't give us the credit we deserve down here.
Thank you.
Lead us, Tobin. Lead us.
Take us there. See, the thing that's tough about Leroy is a man with a lot of sports credibility. He lived his life in sports, and yet here I am as the Pied Piper of silly sauce. Just my minions follow me, and it drives you nuts.
I'm used to like hard work, effort, hustle plays, and now I'm dealing with goosies and feel good.
That's right.
It's like
this is hard work too.
It hurts.
It's hard work.
It hurts because I know that all of this has nothing to do with winning. But if I say that, everybody flips out like, "Oh, you're just not a Heat fan." No, it's not.
Mr. Grips, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Twitch gang in the building.
What's up, buddy?
I just wanted to say, simple math equation: 3 Game 1 W's equals goosies upon goosies upon goosies.
I think that is math. Mr. Grips. I think you're right about that.
3 Game 1 W's equals 3 G's. I think we're playing great team basketball. Jimmy's getting everyone facilitated right in the right spots like that. As you said, towards the end, fourth quarter, the Celtics made a little run. Jimmy got held up right kind of on the elbow. Great pass out for a Caleb 3 to break the ice. I mean, we're just locked in right now. And those bums at ESPN need to give us our credit. We'll give a +1 to Shaq for being the only one to believe in us, but big -1 to Charles Barkley and Kenny the Jet Smith and everyone giving us 3% chance after we took out the number one seed. Come on.
Thanks, Mr. Grips. Appreciate it, buddy. Great equation.
I think that's why we learned math in school.
I think that is. Like, I actually,
so.
when I sit down and do my son's homework with him, I'm like, nope, you got that wrong. You forgot goosies equals goosies galore, dude.
Carry the goose.
Carry the goose and then get loose like Max Strus. Russell, what's going on, Russell?
Hey, thank you for taking my call, guys. I'm going to try to keep it short, but I just got to say, man, can you hear me?
Sure can.
I just got to say, man, Jimmy Butler is really breathing down Wade's back and just being my favorite Heat player of all time.
Wow.
It's a really bold statement to say.
That's very bold.
It's a really bold statement to say, but I mean, Jesus, the way he handles the media and everything and the leader that he is. But honestly, I just got to say, Mazzulla, the way he disregarded Heat culture before the game and the way that the best spoach in the game, say it with me, best spoach in the game is running laps around this guy. It's just so pleasing to watch, man. And last thing, I don't know what's wrong with Charles Barkley. I don't know if he had just terrible averages against the Heat organization or whatnot, but that guy despises us. He's never given us any due credit. He always has something bad to say. Anyways, that's all I got to say. One last thing is Peyton Pritchard. Peyton Pritchard came into play.
I see it,
I
man.
would
I was stunned seeing Peyton Pritchard out there. I was like, what is going on here?
I would say this, that it's okay to pick another team, right? I think what fans have a problem with is the way that everybody's so dismissive about it.
Yep. Perfect word.
Right? Like, it's not like the Heat have beaten the number 1 seed and the number 4 seed. Right? They act as if though this is the first round of the playoffs.
Yes.
And I think that is the only issue that I would have. Not about what they say. Right? But the fact of the matter is when you get to this point, you can't be so dismissive because there's a reason why you're here. And I think to just go and let's not forget, they took the Atlanta Hawks 6 games. They took Philadelphia, it took 7 games.
They've been very
inconsistent. So they haven't to make the assumption that they're going to just breeze through this series when they haven't done it before is as much of a crime as them not giving Miami their flowers. So
totally with you.
What I would say is this. You can't coach stupid. If people choose not to take all of this information in to comment or analyze this series, and I don't care, I get most people are going to pick the Celtics. But if you don't just acknowledge what has happened these first 2 series, as far as how easily the Heat have gone through them and how pain-suffering, agonizing, hard-working it took the Celtics to get through the first 2 rounds, then you aren't given the whole story.
Well said, Leroy. Well said. Joe, what do you got for us, buddy?
All right, so 2 things. So Caleb Martin, man, I'm falling more in love with this man every time I see him. We've had this rendition of type player from Gerald Green, Derrick Jones Jr., and Caleb Martin he's what we've been looking for in a wing guy for a long time. For an undrafted guy, do what he's been doing out there, playing defense. He has sweet layups. He can dunk the ball, high flyer. He's everything we wanted Derrick Jones Jr. to be.
Yep.
And Jimmy Butler, have you ever seen a guy play better in his 30s than he did in his 20s?
Wow, that's a good question, because yes, he does seem to be getting better, which is kind of crazy for a guy who plays as physical as he does.
Well, here's the other thing, is that when he's not playing for your team, did you notice him as much? So I won't say that he's got a whole lot better. I think he's gotten more skillful.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I think he became an all-star first time at 25 with the Bulls.
But from the standpoint of the talent and the way in which he's played, he's always done that, right? We weren't privy to it firsthand. You see?
Yeah, you definitely appreciate those things. I do think that, you know, a lot of these mid-range spots that he has gotten so good at, he's perfected a lot of that stuff. I mean, you can see the work that he's putting into things for sure. But man, he's so impressive in the winning plays that he makes. How much, I mean, the numbers he had against Jason Tatum yesterday defensively, Jason Tatum couldn't score against him yesterday.
Right.
It's just like, it's just so impressive.
I think if you want to know the most important reason, or the real reason why Jimmy should be getting, and he's getting all of his flowers now, but even more of it, because here's the deal.
He needs flowers and an edible arrangement.
Here's the deal. When you talk about the great players, and if you talk and you hear Shaq and you hear Chuck and Kenny talk about this, when you're a great player and the other team has a great player, you take it as a challenge to go lock him down.
Right.
You say, I got this.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy did that. But Jason Tatum didn't. They tried to hide Jason Tatum on the defensive side so he could go offensively.
Right.
And if you want to know what the difference is in stars, I'm talking about superstars. You got a superstar in Jimmy Butler that if a guy is getting too comfortable, he goes and handles that.
Absolutely.
And on the other side, they all trying to stay as far away. Can we double Jimmy? Let's send a double team at him. So that's where you know.
Is that the Celtics huddle?
Right.
Is that the voice they use?
Can we get Pritchard and somebody else on him? Can we put our intangibles on him?